So, good day, everybody. Sorry about that. A pleasure to have you here on this channel. My name is Marco, and I'm a Christian. I am in love with God. He's my first love, and it has been a journey for me. And I just want to be able to teach my brothers and sisters what it's like or what is expected of us as Christians, right? So I'm just gonna go on a topic for today. This topic has been in my heart for a very long time, and I come across it today in the Bible, First Corinthians 13 verse 13, and I abided hope and faith, but the greatest of these is charity. That's a very important topic that I want to touch on because I had a different conception of charity, but I've done my research and I believe that um, like I feel the Holy Spirit moving me to give a presentation on this topic. So I'm glad to have you listening to me for today. All right, so I'm gonna dissect this topic. I'm gonna put it on a lens and I'm gonna focus on it. Okay, so what exactly is charity? Okay, charity gives with the right hand. Yeah, this is my right hand. Without the left hand knowing. Interesting. Charity is done in silence. It doesn't boast. It doesn't brag. It doesn't put itself on the forefront so others may see, oh, I did this, I did that. Nothing is wrong with doing charity in public because it allows our brothers to see what it means to truly love, right? But what I'm saying is that when somebody does something and then brag and boast about it, that's not charity because charity is unselfish and you then again are thinking about yourself. Charity is done in silence. It gives with the right hand without even the left hand knowing about it. For Christians, I want to touch on this topic because I've seen some Christians with some really critical mindset of certain things, and I just want to help people to understand that God is love, and everything that we do must come from the heart of love and not for our own selfish reasons. Many people and Christians harbor this egotistical notion, believing in their own salvation. They perform a lot of charity. Then again, they're thinking of their own salvation, their own reward. And charity just thinks about having God as the reward. It doesn't think about itself. Charity is unselfish. Charity is heartfelt. So charity can be fake as it is. Many people perform very lucrative acts of charity for their worldly position, whether they want to get re-election. And I have seen this many times. When it's election time, people give very lucrative gifts for their re-election. Question to ask: does that come from the heart? Does that come from the love within? Because God lies within us, right? And everything we do from the heart, He knows. So if we're doing something because of some re-election or we volunteer because we want that to look good on our resume, not because we actually care about the object. Because charity is unselfish and it's heartfelt. It doesn't care about itself. It cares about the person, right? Because God said, love your neighbor as yourself, right? How can you perform act of charity when the act itself is driven by selfish motive? And as I said before, charity is unselfish, right? So it's not the value of the gift, it's the value of the heart giving the gift, right? So you can give a glass of water in true charity, and it would have outweighed a politician giving many lucrative gifts to get re-election. It's not the value of the gift, but it's the value of the heart. That's all that counts. And I want to touch on the next topic too, because many of us have good hearts, but we just don't have the economic ability to do certain things. So we might sit and we might see our brothers struggling or hungry, or we don't have it because we are also struggling too. But you feel it in your heart and you feel that impulse to help your brother. As I said before, it just came from your heart. And charity is heartfelt and unselfish. So you just performed charity even though the immediate act wasn't performed, even though not anything was given. You still perform charity because that impulse vibrating from your spirit, because it has found your body ready to dispose an act of love, even though the immediate act wasn't carried out. So even the smallest of us are able to carry out charity. Everyone can carry out charity. It's not just for the rich or those who have material goods. Charity comes from the heart. It comes from spirit. And love is the language of spirit. And love drives charity, right? So whenever you see an impulse to do good, that is your love. And many people perform acts without that impulse. How can you give with no love in your heart and you're giving for your own ulterior motive? Is that loving your brother, or are you still loving yourself? Because God searches the minds and hearts of everyone. He knows everyone's ulterior motives. He knows the driving force behind every act, right? Many people give off their excess, and there is no impulse of love. There's no love within him. And remember, God is love, and love is the language of spirit. And anything you do, it must be done out of love. Remember that when we go before God, everyone goes before God as a humble spirit. So all the badges, insignias are gone. Even King David, when he go before God, he's not a king anymore. He's just David, right? Because there is only one king in heaven, and we have to humble ourselves before God. And remember that charity cannot be put in a box, because God is infinite and love is infinite, right? So I like to say thank you all for being here, and remember that make love your driving force in everything you do. And remember that love is unselfish and love is heartfelt. Love doesn't think about itself, it thinks about others, right? And remember, always put yourself last, right? And don't perform acts of charity to be seen. Mm. Love those in the back seat. Don't go up on the front and love for recognition. No, love those in the back seat, those that nobody care about, you know. And thank you for being here and have a great day. Thank you.